Common sense tells us that our existence is but a brief candle of light between two eternities. For man alone has foreknowledge of his coming death, and with it the chance to ponder the strangeness of his destiny.
Life, death, and eternity. Throughout recorded history, the desire to comprehend the true nature of this mysterious trinity has burned within the human heart. What, if anything, exists for us beyond the grave? Is man nothing more than a collection of tissue and bone, with a fate no greater than the dust of the earth? Or is some part of him destined to live on after death in a realm or dimension set apart from this world? The search for answers has shaped the spiritual foundations of every civilization that has ever existed on this planet.
People have a sense in their everyday lives, a sense of immortality, a sense of there being something else. And so every civilization has really needed a sense of the afterlife in order to know how to live their present lives, too.
It's true. Soon and very soon, there will come a time when you, too, will be looking at a tombstone. And you will have to face what it is on the other side.
Fear and mystery combine in wondering what is beyond the grave, I think, drives us to this curiosity about, is there an afterlife? Is there an above life? Is there an underlife? Is there some other dimension of life I'm not experiencing now? And if so, what's it look like, and what does it mean for me?
The archives of human history are filled with attempts to grasp the meaning of life after death. Yet, with the passing of centuries, most of these explanations have come and gone, satisfying curiosity for a little while, before fading to the winds of legend and myth. But there is a vision of eternity that has endured the test of time to dramatically touch the world. A sacred truth, grounded in the ancient Torah, that for more than 3,000 years has cast a brilliant light on things eternal. And the hope and ideals it has inspired are crucial threads in the spiritual, moral, and intellectual fabric of Western civilization. This vision of eternity is revealed in the pages of the most popular book ever written, the Holy Scriptures we now call the Old and New Testaments of the Bible.
The Bible is the most important, most significant book ever written. The Bible serves to remind people of God's ongoing work in history, and so people have a sense of a personal intervening God that will not relinquish people merely because of death.
I think every book of the Bible is spiced with hints of heaven. There are clues and there are pieces of this jigsaw puzzle. I'm convinced on every page.
Transcending culture and time, the Bible has forged an indelible mark upon the world's perceptions of heaven, hell, and the eternal destiny of man, while inspiring artists, poets, scholars, and theologians in their quest to unlock perhaps the greatest mysteries ever confronted by the human race. Mysteries that still captivate the heart and mind as we take our first steps into a new millennium. Join us now as we embark upon a spiritual odyssey of extraordinary dimensions for a view of what lies on the other side of death, as seen through what may well be history's most remarkable window on eternity.
Over the years, we have explored America's attitudes toward the afterlife and other religion dimensions, and we find in surveys that a substantial majority, actually 6 in 10 Americans, believe that Jesus Christ will return to earth one day. They believe in the second coming, and a high proportion of that group believes that it's imminent, actually. In fact, 4 in 10 say it's very or fairly likely that Jesus Christ will return in the next century.
For nearly 2,000 years, the second coming of Jesus Christ, perhaps history's most anticipated moment, has played a vital role in understanding the biblical visions of heaven and hell. Late in the 1st century, the Scripture's most vivid account of Christ's return to earth was revealed on a desolate island in the Mediterranean. John, one of Christ's original 12 disciples, had been exiled by the Roman Caesar Domitian to Patmos, a 6 by 10 mile fragment of rock 40 miles off the coast of what is now Turkey. There, in his 90th year, the aged apostle received a vision from God that would forever change the world's outlook on eternity.
On the Lord's day, I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet, which said, "Write on a scroll what you see." Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking to me, and I saw someone like the Son of Man, dressed in a robe reaching down to his feet. His eyes were like blazing fire. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead. Then he placed his right hand upon me and said, "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last, the living one. I was dead, and behold, I am alive forever and ever. I hold the keys of death and Hades. Write therefore what you have seen, what is now and what will take place later."
I think John's first objective was to try somehow to get into words the things he was seeing. John had a second primary objective, I think, as he probably weighed over the content of what he was hearing, seeing, and that message is history is going somewhere. History has a consummation. It's not just every day and every way things kind of muddle along like they have for millennia past and millennia future. There's a direction to this, and not just a direction, but a consummation of all of human history.
The description of all John saw is now recorded in the 22 chapters of the Bible's last book, the Revelation. To those who interpret the Scriptures literally, John's words unveil a mysterious, compelling account of the final conflict between the ultimate forces of good and evil.
And they gathered the kings together to the place that in Hebrew is called Armageddon. And the number of mounted troops was 200 million, for I heard their number. Proclaim